So a lot of us love the templates that Josh Hanna, Don Ward, and Ben Shirk put together, but we never really get to hear what inspired them, how they created it, or really the process behind it. So in these interviews, I wanted to bring you guys a little bit behind the scenes on what they do. Hello, guys, I'm Mike with the Fieldhouse, where we bring you marketing, product templates for what you need in volume sports photography, along with some education. Josh Hanna, what's up, my man?
How's it going?
Good. It's good, man. It's going solid. Hey, thanks so much for coming on here and doing this with me. I don't do a whole lot of lives, but I really appreciate it. And you and I have never met in person, but I've seen your stuff. Oh my gosh. I think I started doing this in 2014. So I've been seeing your stuff since then. Back then it was quite different. And you were making some sound waves, brother. So that was awesome. But again, thanks for coming on, man.
It's been a while ago.
Yeah, definitely has. I also would love to just ask the question of what, and this is probably a big question, but what really got you into graphic design? Do you have that type of background as far as education, or what kind of drew you into this kind of stuff? I'm curious.
So I started, as far as the graphic design route, I started that in high school.
Okay.
So I actually took commercial advertising design was one of my tracks that I was taking, and then started college out in that same track, but never finished college. So it's always been like, that's always been a thing, like in my background.
Sure.
Then you get married and you get working, and then you get lost in a career for 16 years working at a job that you hate, and like, you know,
Is that what you're doing too? You work another job?
No, not anymore, but I did.
Oh, okay.
I did up until December of 2012 when I left that full-time job, because I was doing photography kind of full-time on the side there for several years. And
right.
Yeah, things have a tendency to work their way back around, I think.
Yeah. And so you do some phenomenal templates. You and Don Ward are probably some of my favorite people out in the space doing this kind of stuff. Ben Shirk also does incredible stuff, as we all know. But I wanted to hear a little bit behind the scenes on what your thought process is on doing this kind of stuff. You have a great fan base. A lot of people communicate, sharing the stuff. I know that sometimes they'll take your stuff and Don Ward stuff and like combine it, which is kind of cool too. But go ahead and share with me, like, what right now in 2021, what are you seeing, I guess, as far as design trends that you're starting to incorporate? And I'm going to share some of your templates here in a little bit, just kind of go through a couple of them. But what do you see right now that's really kind of a cool, hot thing? If you draw your inspiration from college sports, from pro sports, what are you seeing big right now?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people are leaning towards, the collegiate type graphics and things. We're even seeing a big following increase on collegiate photographers. So I think that whole world is starting to impact the high school and even the younger TNI stuff. And so very clean, Don's stuff's amazing because he approaches things from a very strong design forward aspect. It's very clean. It's very modern. It's very well thought out as far as, like I said, just from that straight design aspect where, and he and I have talked a little bit, and, a lot of times my approach tends to lean maybe more towards effect type of implementation in some of the design. And so, when we see stuff where, I know for me personally, when I see stuff blending, people take my stuff, blend it with Don's or blend it with Ben's or whatever, like, I think that's amazing. Like, it's awesome because you're actually seeing people turn themselves into designers. But very clean, very modern, very collegiate. I guess that's how I would sum up, where I feel like things are kind of pushing towards.
Okay. I'm almost convinced that Don creates his templates purely out of Illustrator. Just because when I zoom in and I look, everything is so clear and so pristine. I was like, there's no way that is, a bitmap image at all. But he does a really good job. And I think you hit a good point there. We all, like you and Ben Shirk really come from a lot of effects, a lot of good lighting, a lot of good smoke, a lot of good atmospheric kind of elements, which is phenomenal. I mean, I don't know. Outside of YouTube, I don't know anyone else who does it that well. I guess other than Joel Grimes, but he doesn't do a whole lot of fights anyway in that aspect. But yeah, Don, I think I don't even know his background really. I don't know if he comes from. I know he's working on a railroad right now, BNSF.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he has some type of like graphic design background. But he may be self-taught. I don't even know. But yeah, that's cool stuff. When you said the collegiate industry, you said they're kind of combining with the TNI some of the high school stuff. Do you see, I mean, have you had people like from the college area purchase either your graphic design work or your templates or anything like that? Like, are you getting those kinds of customers as well now? Is that what you kind of meant?
No, not. I mean, I've had a couple of that.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing is people who are shooting more of the high school and youth TNI stuff are being attracted by the visuals that the collegiate guys are making.
Right. Okay.
So I see that being kind of influenced in what they find attractive in designs.
Yeah. Okay. Specifically, James Quantz, that guy who jumped into some of the groups. Yeah, he's amazing. Quantz Photo, super fun. I'm sure you saw it. He started a YouTube channel this past year and just has done really well. So that's really cool for him. Cool. Yeah. Let me add to this. So I think I'm seeing a lot of. I feel like the grunge is definitely coming back. the 90s grunge, it maybe executed a little bit differently. I know we don't want to go back to bitmap on the grunge, maybe a little bit more vectorized so you can really scale it. But you know, a lot of the like stickers and a lot of the like the scrapbooking look, I feel like is there as well, right? You see a lot of torn edges, you see a lot of paper textures, you see a lot of stickers and like the clear tape and the brown tape. Like I'm seeing all those things pop across the screen a lot of the time, especially as you watch like college basketball, that kind of stuff. But a lot of cool stuff. It's really exciting. So, and then the blend of text and some of the weird morphic text that's going on as well. I wish I knew how to do that kind of stuff, but it's pretty cool. So who is
there's a whole school of thought on text that just blows my mind sometimes to even try and think about.
Right. Who's one of the big influencers in your life as far as inspiration for graphic design or just for visuals in general?
Oh gosh.
Big fat question, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's like so many things you pick up. Like I'm trying to think of a particular person design wise, and I'm trying to remember his name. Aaron.
Chaplin.
Yes. So from a design aspect, his stuff's amazing.
Oh,
you know
man.
I mean? Like if you've ever watched the videos of him sit and just work out like a logo thought process, it's just mind blowing. Like how that comes together. It never comes together that easily for me.
He's
right
on a piece of paper. He's like, well, I'll just do this. Oh wait, let's come over here and do that. And I'm like, whoa, bro, how'd you go from there to there? That looks pretty cool.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So if I had to think of like a name of somebody that just super impresses me, but from a strictly design point, that's him. Everything else is just seeing things here and there where I'm like, oh, that's a cool aspect, or that's really cool. And a lot of times maybe I might even see something pop up on TV where I just take a quick picture with my phone and just like I need to look at this closer later.
Right.
So a lot of that's just morphs into something that comes back out another way, which I think that's what style is, right? You're encouraged or influenced by bits and pieces of what other people do. So trying not necessarily to steal what they do, but to be influenced, and then it comes out in this new amalgamation. So
sure. I agree with that. Yeah, that's a great point. Okay, so some of these one of the cool things I like about your portfolio is how different they are. Like they're very different, a lot of these. I saw that you made one from James Quantz, right? You made I can't remember what that was called. Not vectors, it was something else, but
cornered.
I was like, man, that's cool. And it's so diverse. You can use it in so many different ways. That was pretty cool. What is your most favorite template that you've created? The one that you're like, oh man, that was beautiful. I love that one. Maybe not like how many you sold, but maybe just your favorite.
Probably one that I have that's called Court Order, if I recall right. So it's like for basketball and volleyball.
Okay.
So I've got like the bleachers on the side, the court floor, big scoreboard in the background where you can change all the scoreboard up. There's just something surreal visually that I like about that one. And I guess on top of that, I've seen so many people post using it that just, you know, I'm like, man, that looks cool. Like, I'm glad I was a part of that because that looks really cool when I see it. So that's one of my favorites.
Awesome. Looking through, your most recent one that you launched was Ember, but I know you're probably still getting some traction. Are you still getting on some people interested in Vector? I know that was kind of a big hit for you. That one was pretty dope.
Yep, I've had a few sales on that one lately. And I really like, I've seen some people post some really interesting color combinations that really make that one pop. That's what I really love about that, is when I see people start tweaking with their team colors.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some really cool ones with that.
Awesome. Yeah, and then this one's really cool too, especially for spring sports. This one's called Textured, I believe.
Yep.
Great colors, man. Oh my gosh. Very
that
cool.
was fun. A lot of those textures I went out to shoot in the middle of winter, so like all of that grass was brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you know, it pays to know Photoshop and what you can do, because we're shooting a lot of this stuff thinking, okay, I know what I can do with it because it doesn't look great right now.
Right.
So that was fun one to put together.
Do you record yourself editing at all, like any type like time lapse videos?
Every now and then. I tend to usually only do that if I'm doing, like if I'm working with another photographer and we're doing something for fun.
Okay.
Dan McClanahan and I do several of those. Ryan Sims and I have done some stuff like that. So usually if I'm doing a collaboration with somebody for fun, I'll do the time-lapse recording.
Awesome. Yeah. I saw that you did some type of challenge. It was you and someone else facing off. I think that was you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's me and Ryan Sims doing a composite swap, which we're getting ready to schedule another one.
Cool.
Those are super fun. So Ryan's big in the cosplay world. And so what he does is he sends me a cosplay character. I send him a senior that I have, and then we just see what we can come up with on the spot.
Oh, man. That's cool.
Yeah, those are fun.
You mentioned Dan McClanahan. Am I saying his last name? McClanahan. Are you in Iowa as well? Are you near him?
No, I'm in West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, of course, man. And dude, just thanks for chatting with me. I've always kind of wanted to chat with you. And so this has been a treat. So I really appreciate your time, man. I know your time's valuable, so I really appreciate it. Real quick, last thing here. It just kind of came to me. Go through, I guess, your morning routine. I guess a lot of people, either younger people that are trying to learn this craft or older people that are trying to, improve their business or improve what they're doing in photography. What is your morning routine so that maybe some of us can kind of take that away from this as some value? Do you have anything particular that you do in a morning routine? Yeah,
I do. So when I wake up, first thing I do is my Bible reading. So I think that's very important to get that center going for the day. And then it literally moves right into messages. Like I gotta have. I'm very OCD. It seems like about having all of my messages caught up before I actually dive into Photoshop and start working.
I get you.
So that's kind of my process to just. And sometimes that's frustrating because sometimes there's a lot of messages between all the different platforms to get back to.
Oh man.
That can eat up a couple hours easily, but that's part of the process. So
yeah,
I like to have that done and checked off.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I know. Just between you and I know Don has said, when selling his templates, he gets a lot of questions as far as how to use them, and I can understand how complex that they could be, especially if you're messing with smart objects, that kind of stuff. So I can't even imagine, man, what you go through, especially with your work. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's and I think Don's really good too. I've been trying to be better about doing little walkthrough videos. So if there's, sometimes when you learn something to a certain extent, you kind of have this false narrative that other people understand what you do. And so you, like with Photoshop, for instance, because I know how to do something in Photoshop that I've learned years ago, it could be a totally new concept to somebody else. And sometimes I think we forget. I'm bad about forgetting that. So I've been trying to be more diligent about if I'm building something in that I feel like is maybe a gotcha to somebody. So like you said, smart objects, right? So I've been leveraging more smart object stuff to do more customizations. So I try and do like a little video walkthrough of like, here's how easy this can be to modify this. So just so people can kind of have that without waiting on me to respond to a message the following day or something.
Awesome, man. Again, appreciate your time, brother. Hope you have a good day, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Appreciate it.
All right, man.